record. And Daryl, why don't you go ahead and say a bit more about etiquette?
Oh, so Teams put out a document just recently about video conferencing etiquette. And what it is you need to kind of view the field and see if somebody else is talking, so you're not talking over them. Because as he said, there's a latency lag sometimes in the audio. And so you just kind of wait your turn and see if somebody else is trying to speak. And the conversation is going to be a little bit slower than if you're sitting in front of somebody. So just kind of hang back and let people speak and slow down a little bit.
Okay. Now, one thing I'll say, so Ken, you're only identified as iPhone. So you can go in there and you should be able to rename yourself. I don't know if I can rename you from here. I might be able to. Yeah, I can. No, I can do it for you here. Hold on.
Oh, I see down at the bottom where you're.
Yeah. Here, but I've got you now. I put you up here as Ken.
Kendall.
Kendall, that's it. Yeah. And then here comes Cheryl. And who is RL's pad? Who is RL? We'll figure this out. And then.
Hey, Steve, all I see is you. Am I supposed to be able to see other people too?
So if you, what are you working on? Are you working on your iPad?
Yes.
Okay, there should be something up in the, someone else help me with this. You have to touch your screen in the upper right or upper left corner. You should have a choice between speaker view and gallery view.
Gotcha.
Go to gallery view, then you get everybody.
Thanks, Steve.
And then if we start getting too many people, then we'll get, let's see, you'll have multiple screens of gallery view. Cheryl is still being a little shy here. She is not turning on her video. And some of the people told me they wouldn't be able to, oh, there she is. Okay, Miss America. And then who is RL, please?
Oh, Larry Deck.
Larry Deck. Okay, I'm going to rename you too. There we go. Because we got to have, let's see, rename you to, oh, Robert, it's Robert and Liz, right?
RL is Robert Larry Deck. Yeah, was that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how the school has me.
And just another point, if you have your iPhone, if you're using an iPhone and you have it in a portrait mode, if you turn the landscape sideways, you'll see everybody better. There you go.
Yeah. And if you turn it upside down, it won't change a thing. It'll just follow where your phone is. So Cheryl, did you hear that? Oh, you're muted. Hold on. Let me get you. You have no audio, Cheryl. You're going to be happy. So, okay. So Cheryl, let me share something with you here. I think I can fix this for you. If I do a share screen here, there's actually, you have to go into settings. If you're on an iPhone, right? Give me a thumbs up if you're on an iPhone. No, she's going to be a happy grin here. Because you actually need to give your iPhone permission to access your microphone. So let me try something here for a second. If I can do this share screen, iPhone, share. Is this going to work? Hold on.
Put it on another screen if you have two screens.
Yeah, you have to go into settings and do dual screen mode.
Yeah, I have.
But it's when you set it up, you can see the tiled version on one screen, and you can see the speaker in full screen on the other screen. But it's set up dual screen mode.
Yeah, set up under either dual screen or in video dual screen, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's okay. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on. Mike and I just finished cleaning the school room. It was a mess. So I'm kind of dirty.
Well, we can't tell.
Okay. Do you have your graduation cap on, Steve?
Who?
Oh, Daryl. Yeah. I think it's just a tile on the roof.
It's a missing tile on his roof, yes. It's behind your ceiling fan, Daryl.
Oh,
I got to say one
Okay,
thing.
I
I
see
hope
more
we all
than
look.
when I see
that's,
that.
that's actually,
Yeah.
it's actually an acoustic panel.
I hope we look as good in
that-
person
is
as we
that
do on the
Cheryl?
screen. I tell you that right
The studio,
now.
yeah. That's a
Yes.
bass cap in the corner. And then there's
Maybe this is the preferred mode for a reunion.
I never really noticed that.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, that may be something we're going to talk about in a bit because depending on how this quarantine and stuff goes on, we'll find out what we get to do if we get to do something in September, or if it might be too late to make a decision at that point to go ahead. So we'll get to that in a second. And so actually, Peter asked me to come up with an itinerary or agenda, and so I said, okay, I guess I can do that if that makes you happy. And so let me look and see what I actually had on the agenda, or what I was going to say.
Mhm.
Let's see. Oh yeah, get acquainted. Yeah. So the first thing I was going to say is, so let's kind of take turns. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mute everybody. Sorry about this, but that's sometimes the way you got to do things. And then if you want to speak, go ahead and reach up and touch and turn your thing on, but like kind of wave or do something like that to say that you want to talk, and then go ahead. So how are you guys dealing with the pandemic, with the quarantine, with being isolated, with all that kind of stuff? So Cheryl, go ahead. I'll unmute you, Cheryl, okay? So if you want to talk, go ahead.
How come I don't see anybody but you?
Oh, okay, you have to go to what's called, somewhere on your, touch the screen, and you can go between speaker view and gallery view. So if you can kind of put your finger on your screen, and you should be able to find where it says speaker view and gallery view. Press gallery view, and that'll get you.
I don't. Oh, wait. Switching to gallery. Oh,
There you go.
so
Okay.
easy.
So now, talk to us. How are you dealing with this, Cheryl?
I'm so lonely. Barb, hi. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Really.
Okay. Anybody else want to say something? Who's doing it? Go ahead. And Ken, you want to say something? Go ahead.
We've had our grandkids over for a week while the parents are still working there in Las Vegas. So we've just been wearing the mask when we go to the store, taking long walks around the neighborhood, and pretty much staying home and babysitting the grandkids. So that's our way of dealing with it.
Yeah, anybody else? 'Cause I could say we haven't seen our grandkids. We've done FaceTime, we've done Zoom, and that's the way we can interact with them. My stepson is a installer for Comcast, and he's only doing outside stuff, but he's out all the time, so he comes home and decontaminates as much as possible before he goes in to see his kids. So, oh, Janet, you just started screen sharing. I don't know about that. That's something that's different. Why are you sharing your screen with us? That wasn't the mode you wanted to get into. So let me see how I can kill that. Yeah, I'm going to do this here. So I'm just going to, you need to, let's see. Yep, good. Okay, there we go. Never mind. So, who else? Yeah, Pat, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So I think the way it's really impacted us, not a lot since we're retired, like most of you, I think. The biggest thing, I think, is that we like to travel. And I was supposed to come out in April for a wedding out to California. The wedding got canceled, or the venue got canceled. And so haven't been able to do that. I have my tickets for September, so I'm hoping that we can do the reunion, but who knows, gosh. But other than that, just we're doing puzzles. I go to the grocery store. I started wearing a mask this week. Paul hasn't really been out of the house too much, but it's springtime here in Texas, and so we're dealing a lot with the weather and the thunderstorms and those kinds of things. But overall we're doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike, you want to say something? Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I was scheduled to go see, maybe some of our classmates remember Freddie Herring, Fred Herring. He and I were at Jefferson, Sierra,
Oh, yeah.
Ramona. He lives in New Zealand. We talk about it every 6 weeks or so. I was supposed to go down there. Couldn't do it. I feel like I'm in a retirement boot camp right now. I work at Trader Joe's just a couple days a week because my wife is a nurse, but she's out of harm's way. But you know, being at Trader Joe's, I'm a people person, and they hire people persons. But Jesus, we're all in that vulnerable area, so I'm on leave right now. So if any of you guys need any CDs, I've got and Daryl maybe, I've got 1,000 that I'm downloading, and I'm giving them to the Friends of the Library. I'll be happy to mail you anything. Just contact me, and if I've got it, I'll give it to you. No charge. Period.
Postage. You got to pay postage, right?
Ah, hell. It's all love, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Carol, let me unmute you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I live here outside Atlanta, and we are pretty much RVers. We do a lot of trips. I had planned a trip to leave May 11th to go to Lake Havasu to visit my sister, and then go up to Yellowstone and all the stuff there. And so far right now, I think I'm going to have to cancel that trip. It just doesn't look like anything's going to be open. But we'll be going probably back out to Lake Havasu in November for a wedding. So, but we love to RV. At least here in Georgia, our state parks are still open. So I can go self-isolate, take my RV, and I can go to one of our local state parks and look at some other view for a couple days at least with an RV. You probably don't know me a lot. I was the exchange student. I went to Japan my junior year in high school. So I was only at Ramona 10th and 12th grade because I lived in Japan. So that makes me a little bit different than most. That's my claim, being with the class, graduating in 1970.
Oh, that works. That works. Hey, so Keith, I want to ask you, because you're doing real estate and you're up in the Pacific Northwest, which is a hotbed. So how are things going up there?
Oh man, we kind of started right here. You know, we were zero right out of the gate, and we went into lockdown early. I'm in the real estate business and have been working from home, well, now for 35 days. Office is closed down. We've gone through a idea of shutdowns. We can still show houses, but conditionally, and the restrictions hopefully will get removed probably by the end of May is what we expect, and we may get back to some kind of altered state in June. I've had to cancel a number of trips that I had planned, and just said, well, it's going to be very difficult traveling at all this year, just about anywhere. So we're just kind of locking down and taking it day to day.
Yeah, I've actually had here in Santa Fe, we've had my in-laws, their house went on the market, got an offer, and we closed during the quarantine. We went in with our masks to closing with the one title officer. We have another house we want to get back on the market, and the best thing about it, it's empty. So it'll be easy to show. But and also we have a very low inventory here in Santa Fe, so I think beggars can't be choosers. We're hoping it's not going to be bad. But as soon as the quarantine hit and the stock market crashed, we thought, oops, we missed it.
It fell off like it went right off the shelf, and now we've even got questionnaires for buyers and sellers to fill out before we show a house. Buying everybody, including the broker. Last thing we want to do is get anybody sick. And even after a tour, we have to sanitize the house again. Doorknobs, door pulls. Even when we show a house, all the doors are open. So the rule is, don't touch anything. Don't touch
your face.
anything.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay. Let's see. We gained Norm Burdick, but we lost George Rubito, I think, didn't we? Oh, yeah, we have. So, anybody else have something to say? What's going on in their world? Okay, Larry, go ahead.
So I live in Eugene, Oregon, well, outside of town a ways. We usually do lots of camping. So we have a travel trailer, and so those are the things we plan to go off and do. It is, in fact, what we were doing in Arizona as this all started, and we made a beeline to get back home. Also thinking we would get to see our grandkids when we got here, but like others, at least our children have said, no, for your sake, we don't think you should be around the grandkids. And although my wife is Liz Kinseth, she was class of 71. We're both healthy and stuff, but our son and daughter are both quite clear of no, you should not see the grandchildren as much as you may wish to. We have a nice big garden. We've also signed up with Imperfect Produce. I don't know if that's something any of you use to get food delivered. We have another food delivery thing. So I have for over a month now actually avoided even going in a grocery store. So it's I don't know. I mean, in some ways it's a hardship, but in some ways it's kind of fun. I mean, in a strange adventure, living out in the woods, just staying at our house, not camping like we normally would think to do this time of year. So
At least it's not zombie apocalypse yet.
No.
Yeah, where was it? We won't get into politics. I don't want to get into politics at all, but it's pretty interesting the responses we've had to being locked down. So, yeah. Well, anybody else? Okay, Peter, let me unmute you. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're in Temecula, California, and pretty much like the rest of you, we've been hibernating, and the only time we really have gotten out is on a daily basis. We try to do a bike ride, Catherine and I, and we're close to the wine country here in Temecula, and that's where we ride. It's been nice, very very quiet, obviously, because everybody's home. But at the same time, the last week or two, we've been seeing a lot of groups out there. No masks, walking together. And it's not just family, not just close family, it seems like. There are other people just mixed up, with each other. Anyhow, be that as it may. So we've been pretty much isolated other than those bike rides. And as far as groceries, we've been having them delivered. It's worked out pretty well, actually. Other than that, I've been trying to stay busy by going back to yet another book that I'm trying to finish, and it's pretty much a family history of my parents back in the old country during the war, World War II, and so on. So it's keeping me very busy. Catherine started back to work after she retired about a half year. She couldn't stand it. She's too bored, and she just can't sit still. So she went back to work, and she's working full time, but it's from home now. So, by the way, before I forget, Mike Agnew, I haven't seen you since junior year. You and I played football together.
My God. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
I haven't seen you then either.
I know. It's good to see you. It'll be good to see everybody, actually. So that's all I've got.
It's great to see smiles. It's great to see smiles. Living alone, you don't see smiles, and God Almighty, it's great to see most people smiling here.
Yes. Yeah.
That's good. Well, that might be a segue for what we were looking at about, so how might this, oh wait, that's not where I want to be. Hold on, let me look here. Yeah, prospects for our 50-year reunion happening in September. That may be, we'll see, because right now we do have um, our name in at the Elks Lodge. We haven't paid a deposit. I don't think it's really open right now. And so we have a reservation there, but we haven't put any money down. We can do the caterer later on, but my concern is eventually we're going to have to reach people primarily through mail as well as the email list. And we've got like 770 names on the snail mail list, and about, probably about 200 people faithfully read the group emails that go out. If we wait too long, they won't be able to make their plans to go. So that's why I've said to people on the email list, keep your pencil in the date and keep it available. But it just may be difficult because it's things that are beyond our control. We don't know what's going to happen in California. And then people being able to fly, I think that will probably eventually be relaxed because you have to have some type of, the federal government has to get involved, especially when you have interstate travel. With the federal government saying it's all the state's responsibilities, that's not going to work when you have interstate travel and people going back and forth. So something's got to happen there to open up air travel. But I'm taking a wait and see. I read the other day that the post office is hurting, and so if you can buy something from the post office to help them through this time. So I went ahead and bought all the stamps that I would need, and bought $440 worth of stamps for 800 forever stamps to use for mailing things out. We'll get there eventually. The question is, will it be on the date in September we had? Will high school sports be going on? Will they relax in time the ability to meet with a large enough group in like the Elks Lodge, or will they say, oh, we can only have 30% for the capacity there, and we'll have to meet outside or something like that. So there's a lot of uncertainty going on, and right now I am just taking it one day at a time and waiting to see what happens. I really do want to have it happen, but if we have to wait until next year, hopefully we'll all still be alive. And don't give me the scream look, Cheryl. That's yeah, but there are concerns that we have there, but it's going to be interesting. So yeah, we have some people. Is lodging going to be available? Will the caterers? Will some of the businesses be out of business because they were unable to do things during this time? A lot of uncertainty. But I think the important thing to remember is, yes, we are the vulnerable population. The good thing is yeah, I'm the person who goes out and gets the groceries for my my in-laws. They order through Walmart, and I'm the cannon fodder that goes out and picks it up. So some people have to do that, and I'm the healthiest one in our family unit right now to do that. But Cheryl, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Am I unmuted? Okay. I have a hair salon, and everybody that is texting me for haircuts. And people are supposed to be home, and they don't understand. Don't go out.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why would you risk yourself to get a haircut when you shouldn't be out there? In 6 weeks, I think I've been out 4 times. And for the people that go out, I feel bad. I have a daughter-in-law who's a nurse who's on her 12th day of COVID. So don't go out.
Yeah.
Don't go. And don't call your hairdresser for a haircut. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and and Daryl had his glass of wine there beforehand, and I was thinking, I was sad when they said that the liquor stores were no longer essential businesses, and so I couldn't go out and stock it up. But And then what did they say the other day? They opened up the beaches in Florida, and there was a hashtag. What was it? Floridiots or something like that. It was like spring break in Florida. I'm just waiting to see the number of cases go up, and they all flew in, and they have to go back. So we're living in uncertain times. Not a reason to panic, and a reason just to be cautious. We have it maybe a little bit better if we have either Social Security or a pension or something that can tide us over, because our kids are in a situation where maybe they can't do that. We've actually, Krista and I have talked about our stimulus check. We're probably going to share it with our kids because we don't really need it, and we'll give it to them. Any feedback, any comments about the approach we're taking with this? Okay, I got Barbara. Go ahead, Barbara.
Well, my concern is that people are not going to want to come just because it's so scary and so uncertain, and you just never know when everything's going to pop back up. And oh my God, I just was on an airplane and I could have had 10 people that come down with it. So I would really like to have a good turnout, and I think everybody else would as well, but maybe we need some feedback from people as to if they feel comfortable enough to do it this year, or maybe just wait till next year.
Yeah, and you hear there's two camps. There's the people who say the sky is falling, and the people who say that's a bunch of bullshit and it's a hoax and that kind of stuff. And we have people in both camps in our class. And I'm not a sky's falling, and I'm not a bullshit guy. And so for me, it's to remain cautious. And I agree with you, Barbara, that's a concern, is that we may have fewer people who are willing to make that trip. And so that's something that, that's a good point. Anybody else want to? Okay, Carolyn. Let me get Carolyn here. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm the historian in the group, and pandemics tend to get a second wave. You're seeing it in China, Singapore, Hong Kong, because we go out too early. And also, this virus isn't going to go completely away until there is a vaccine, or there's herd immunity, and that means everybody gets it. So I just think a whole lot less people will come in September. And when can we pull the plug for this year and move it to next year? We need to have a cutoff date there too. If we decide to keep going forward for September, we do need to have a date of, well, we can't go any further. So if it were me, I wouldn't be going in September, even though I live in California. So, and it's just to be cautious. It's not the sky is falling or any of that. It's just, when can you pull back and say, no, we can't. I'm supposed to be taking a DNA class, chromosome mapping and advanced DNA in June. And most of the classes that are being offered in this over the next May, June, July are going to online. And so September isn't that much further than that. So. Yeah,
Mike, you had your hand up, didn't you?
Yeah. I agree with Carolyn and Barbara. And in the tradition, I hope, of making lemonade out of a lemon, I don't think it would be bad at all to delay it for a year. Hey, and maybe combine it with the 50th for the class of before us or after us, the 71. It might reduce expenses. I know a lot of people from that class, and presumably vice versa. Maybe we could rent the place simultaneously, the Elks Club. I know Lori Joseph's very active in that stuff. And hey, the more the merrier, I think.
Yeah, and that's actually I was going to have Lori be our, excuse me, I'm texting George Rubito here. I'm going to have Lori be our photographer. And that would work great because it wouldn't be her class, it'd be ours. But if it's the joint one, then we'll have to get somebody else. But yeah. And Keith is texting. It's like in Jaws. I think we're gonna need a bigger boat if we have two classes combined, and if we get enough people excited from their class as well as ours. Because we have a good list, we keep people involved. They have a good group of people. I think we can get a very big turnout. We'll just have to make sure that we do some things a little bit separate, and then some things we mesh together. But it would really be good. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Let me get.
I have a comment here.
Norm. Okay, Norm, say something. Go for it, Norm.
Yeah. The only thing is, I like to take a measured approach, which is kind of wait and see. I went to Vicky's reunion last year, which was a combination of 3 different high schools that was managed by a reunion company, and it was really not satisfactory at all. So, I really appreciate, Steve, that you're taking kind of the lead and doing all these good things that we have so much better, responses, so much better reunions than I've seen in other situations that I've gone to. And I don't know, one of the problems that I've seen people run into is that if you make a deposit, it'll go hard and you can't get it refunded if you can't hold the event. So from that standpoint, then maybe wait and see is a way to go, unless you can make the reservation without having to commit a great deal of money or something like that.
Well, the thing with the Elks is that we're penciled in with them, but there's nobody there to take our check. And so at this point, I think that's the way it's going to remain until I contact Jerry there and find out, or Debbie or somebody else. We can chat with her. But I think we haven't laid any money out yet, and so if we can stay in that position, we're going to remain solvent, and we'll be able to postpone it if that ends up being the case. But I do want to touch base with everybody and kind of take a poll with the email list and with people on Facebook to see about doing that. So
I agree. I like the concept of staying a little bit on the positive side and thinking about maybe September. But if it doesn't work out, then next year it would be wonderful to see all you folks again.
Yeah, but as Carolyn said, there may be people who still be spooked. Even if things are great, you may get as she said, you may get another peak coming up as a second and third waves of these pandemics going out like that.
I think that's happening. We're hearing that might be happening in places that are in China, like, for instance, where it's re-peaking at this point. So I think we have to kind of wait and see and see what's happening. So, but thank you, Steve, for your leadership.
Okay, you're welcome. Peter, you want to say something? He's waving his hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm personally in agreement with Carol, Barb, Mike, and Norm as well. I don't know about the rest of you, but I also want to echo what you just mentioned. I was thinking, take a poll or survey, if you will, of the class and get a feel where they stand on this. But at the same time, I'm sure you've thought about this. Poll after you get the results of a poll or survey about what dates and what to do and etc. You're going to have to make a good, serious recommendation on what to do. We can't keep this as an open, agenda, obviously. And I like what Mike said about combining possibly the 71 class. My Catherine is 71 of the 71 class, and she comes to our reunion as well. I go to hers also. So that would work out. And if we need to combine to get the numbers, maybe that's the way to go. That's all I want to say. I think we need to be cautious. I'm in that camp.
Well, what's interesting is we actually did join with them for our 25, 26 reunion. So 25 years ago, and that'll be 26 years ago, no, 24 years ago now. But we combined ours in 1996 with their 25-year reunion. So we had both of them together, and that was the last big one we did because we missed 30, but then we did 40 and 45. But combining with them is definitely an option, and yeah, I agree though, we're gonna have to fish and cut bait at some point and make a decision. And so that's why we're going to talk a little bit more about this, but I also want to say, can we do some more things here with using more of a focused video chat to get people who have specific interests, people who, let's say they were in PEP, or they were in sports, or they were in choir, or they were in shop, or I have a list of things. I said they were backgaters or they were overachievers. You know, stuff like that, where you can get the people who have specific shared memories and people that they associate with back in high school to say, we're going to have a chance for a video chat for you to get together with people that you knew then. So that's an option as a transition from not having a 50-year reunion for us this year and making it 51 next year, but to continue to do things and to engage and interact in this era of social distancing and quarantine and being cautious. So that's kind of, I've been thinking about that as well. Who else? In fact, okay, just a minute. I have Janet, and Janet wants to be, I'll lower your hand, I'm going to let you talk because Janet is actually not sharing her screen and we can see her lovely face. So go ahead and talk, Janet. Oops, I thought we could hear you. Wait.
I am showing my screen. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, and I am seeing myself up at the top, but I guess you're not seeing me?
No, now if you have speaker view and you have gallery view. If we're in speaker view, you talk, we see you.
Right.
If you're in gallery view, I can't put enough people on my screen to see them all at once. So I slide over to see you.
Okay, but are you seeing me right now?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. So I finally figured that out. I'm just punching keys over here. You know, I always do that by default. Something happens. I just wanted to say, I'm enjoying this. This is my first Zoom, and I think this is cool. And I think if we can get all 760 people on the screen, it'd be really great.
Okay. Well,
the ones you're sending out the invitations to.
first off, I have to get emails for them, and then we have to make sure that they have a computer and that they can create their account and come on here. But yeah, I agree. I think seeing people, but I'm also saying that it would be better to have more focused, you know, like, so all the girls that Mike Agnew cooked for their 50th birthday, we could have a Mike Agnew chef for their 50th birthday reunion and something like that, because there's a number of women on here I know that were involved with that. So.
And then there's ones that weren't involved with it.
That would like to be. So we have the wannabes that would like to join him. Yes, I agree. That could be the case too.
Okay.
Okay. So anybody else? I see Cheryl's waving at people. Ken wants to speak. Go ahead and speak, Ken.
All right, just one thing. I believe Zoom is limited to 1 hour per meeting. And so we've got about 10 minutes left.
No, actually, we started this with my church a month ago, and it had a 45 minute thing. And it's like, oh, my pastor speaks too long. So I went ahead and paid for I have a paid membership, so we can have unlimited time. We can have unlimited numbers of them going on. And all it takes is for me to figure out with other people when to schedule them. So we're not going to run out of time. We're doing good.
Very good.
Anybody else? Okay, Beth wants to say something. Let me get Beth unmuted. Go ahead, Beth.
Steve, I just want to say I love you. I think you're awesome, and I know we all appreciate you. And hi, everybody. And I'm for delaying it for another year due to the fact that I feel like I'm fat now due to the coronavirus. eating so much because there's nothing else to do hardly. But anyway, Mike and I are having fun. Tonight we're going to review some of our dance steps, particularly for the cha-cha. So that's what we're doing.
You're not doing tango yet? You can't do the tango yet?
Oh, we're past tango.
Mr. Agnew, you want to say something to Beth or what?
Yeah. I ran out of my wine about 10 minutes into this thing, but I noticed Daryl and Larry have been continuing throughout. I'd like to know what the hell they're drinking.
Well, if you need to, I mean, you can have a continence break where you can go to the bathroom, or you can go get a glass of, Larry's leaving. If you need to get up and leave, no one's going to be upset with you if you do leave and go get something. But for you, Mike, it looks like it's going to be a spacewalk because your background is from the space station, right?
No, it's Dana Point.
Oh.
Oh, really? Okay.
Looks pretty spacey.
Thank you. No, yeah, I just thought this would be nice. The sun's coming up and we got to be positive.
Yeah. Let's see. We're adding more people. We got
Rosanna.
Rosanna is there. Yes.
Rosanna Wood.
Rosanna Wood. Yes. Speak, Rosanna. You're unmuted, so you can speak.
All right. I can hear my voice sounds really loud. I got to lower my audio here. There we go. Yes, I just happened to stumble on the link again. I was like, all right. Even though I'm a little late.
Oops, sorry. Yeah,
right.
it's good to have you, and we got Mr. Cushman there, who is he's playing with his video and stuff like that. So yeah, we've been online now about 45 or more minutes because that's right, I broke off and had to rejoin. But we're talking about the likelihood of postponing the reunion because of potential poor turnout. So that's something that we have to consider right now in what we're doing moving forward. So let's see. I can't see everybody now. This is sad because I have to go back and forth to see two screens. Actually, it's just I cut off Daryl and me, so I don't need to see Daryl. He's just drinking wine. Let's see. Did you get your wine, Mike?
I got mine. I wanted to know what Daryl and Larry were drinking.
I don't know what Larry's got Sarver. I something like that. Okay.
Well, I just got lemon juice and water right now. I'll have to go get myself a glass.
I was drinking Shadow Mountain. It's called Old Gus. It's some vines that were planted in, I think, 1942.
All right.
Wine made in San Diego at Shadow Mountain. It's really good stuff.
Oh.
Beautiful.
So what are your thoughts about establishing what we used to call in the old days special interest groups? So like all the people who have backgate experience, all the people who have California Scholastic Federation experience, the polar opposites, or people in choir, or stuff like that. Trying to schedule so it's a smaller group because it can be difficult to manage a bunch of people. If someone said we get 770 people here, that would be a nightmare. So I don't know how that would work. And Kevin, I'm going to let you talk right now because your microphone's on, and I'm going to let you say something that I don't know you've been dying to say.
Well, I just finally got this thing to work, so I haven't been hearing a whole lot of what you've been talking about.
Read my lips.
Harvey Manning and I both booked in anticipation of this happening Southwest flights last week, so we're keeping our fingers crossed.
The good thing about Southwest is they have a very generous refund, reuse, schedule for a later date. So Southwest is the way to go.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
Because of that. So.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Is there anybody else from Texas that you know of that would be coming out? Kevin. Oh, he just got lost right now. I don't know where he went. Okay. His microphone is off.
Yeah, this is Norm again. I just wanted to say that I still live here in Riverside, if you could imagine that. So if there's anything I can do to help, physically here, just let me know, okay?
Okay. I've got a generous groundswell of people who are happy to help, and I appreciate that, because it's obviously not a one-man show, but it does take some cogitating and executive decisions. But I will be doing the polling people and getting an idea of how likely they are, considering the uncertainties, whether they prefer to stay the course and aim for the September 19th date, or say, let's play it safe and let's not put anybody at risk and let's go for a bigger turnout and delay it. But I still want to look at the idea of doing things like this. I don't want to spend every night with people that, I remember from 50 years ago. I have a life. I have a wife, too. She's not in here right now. Yay! And, but yeah, I miss everybody as well. And I was really looking forward to this and cranking on it and did a good job. I actually have found some people that were lost for a long time, and Carolyn has been helping a lot with that. And I got to check a few more out. But let's see, who were a couple? Jackie Greer and Diane Takeda were a couple that I found. So they haven't heard from us in 50 years. And they'll be surprised to get a piece of mail from us at some point saying that, oh, we found you and would you like to come join us? So it's going to be interesting how many of those work. And but the flip side is, the bad thing is when I mail stuff out, I get returned mail marked deceased. And that is a shot in the heart. It kills me. So it's like we're up to 135 right now that have died and that we know of. And the list will continue to grow. Carolyn, you want to say something?
Did you get the email I sent this afternoon?
You sent me 2 of them, right?
I think there's 4.
Oh, I haven't read all of them yet.
Okay.
I'll check. Hold on.
And 1 may be deceased. I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
2, I'm sorry, 2 may be deceased. I might not have sent that. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Yes, I see. Yeah.
Did I send you the one on Coleman?
You sent me Dorothy Lehman, David Haslam, and Hope Gibson.
And then, okay, Coleman. Did anybody know Coleman Scott?
I forget.
Okay.
See,
I think he passed away too, but I'm still trying to confirm that.
Well, and for people that don't know, let's see, who said it earlier? Carol Tiemann, you said you missed your junior year, but you graduated with us, and there were others who were with us for their who didn't graduate with us. And I'm looking at Cheryl, and she didn't graduate with us, but it doesn't matter as long as you were with our class at some point along the route through those 3 years. That's why we have about 1,200 names of people on our list. So I count about 1,180, I think, right now, that at one point I can find something that ties them to our class. And a lot of you grew up in Riverside, so you went to elementary and junior high together as well. So I may not have known those people, because I moved back to Riverside at the beginning of our sophomore year. So I'm very generous in who's in our class. And so there'll be a lot more than the 745 that are on our commencement program. And Carolyn has even found people that were incorrectly on there because they graduated like 3 years earlier. And so they weren't with our class. But we want to get as many people as possible, because my job is to try and connect people. That's the main thing. So doing this is good, and having people do that. Oh, Cheryl, you're waving your hand. Are you just saying hello, or you want to talk? Go ahead and talk.
I just want to thank you because this has been like finding everybody, and all of my friends that I've reunited with all come from you. And it's been awesome. I can't tell you how many times my doors have opened to welcome people. And it's just been awesome.
I want to come back and meet you someday.
Is this Cheryl Turner?
That is Cheryl Turner.
Oh, wow.
Yes, people show up like that. Yes, that's the way it works. That's the way it works around here, Rosanna, is that people show up that you barely remember from your childhood.
Well, you know, I've been friends with Shelley.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but she's up in Reading now, I think, right?
Yeah, but I spent a trip last year with her in New Orleans. We did my bucket list, and it was awesome. That's what I said. Through this connection, I have reconnected with so many people that it's been so cool. And that's why I'd like to see it just continue to grow, because we all did come from the same era and we have the same memories.
Yeah.
And so that's what's been so awesome about this. And yes, I remember you.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Okay, let's get our hankies out now and let's. Oh, that's touching. Anybody else have a heartwarming story? I'm teasing.
I have one to embarrass Mike Agnew. For real. My mother met him. Well, I think it was like 6th or 7th grade, and my mother said, "Look at that handsome, tall boy." He wanted me to go after Mike Agnew, and I was like, "Mom, I think he might be out of my league."
And now you know, Mike.
Remembered it. He was like, "Oh, look at that handsome young man, Mike Agnew."
Pat, go ahead and say something.
So I wanted to ask Carol in Georgia. Carol, are you the Carol Tiemann that went to Catholic school in Riverside?
Oh yeah, I went to St. Thomas.
St. Thomas, right.
Maua for a year, and then Ramona for 10th and 12th grade, because I was the exchange student to Japan in
Right.
11th grade. So that kind of
Yeah.
makes me, yeah, the Tiemann family is well known at St. Thomas. I've got bunches, nobody lives in Riverside anymore, but yeah, there were 5 of us. So.
Yeah. My maiden name was Courtney, so I was your classmate there at St. Thomas.
Oh, beautiful St. Thomas. Yeah, most of my family's evacuated California. They're retiring. They're going to Lake Havasu. I've got 2 siblings in Lake Havasu now. So, you know, that's where we end up more.
Nice to see you.
So this is another thing to try and get the ability for people to connect on their own once they connect here. So if I haven't made it clear in the past, if you'd like to get contact information for somebody, let me know and I can put you in contact with them and you can continue the relationship and the friendship that way. So if you guys want to exchange phone numbers, actually something you could do here in Zoom is in the chat box, you can actually send private chats between individuals, between you and an individual person or between you and the whole group. So if you want to send a message to Pat, you want to send something to Carol, click chat, find her name on the list, type in a message to her, and she should get it if she's paying attention. But it should pop up on her screen that she has a message waiting for her.
It's after 9 o'clock here, so I've already got my jammies on.
Oh, do you have daytime jammies and nighttime jammies at your place? Okay.
Yes, now it's, I do got that, being stuck at home.
Yeah, well, I put my pants on. I take the dogs for a walk in the morning. I can't wear my jammies taking the dogs for a walk here, so got to do that. Let's see. Peter was asking Norm if you went to Shamawa. Mr. Burdick, did you go to Shamawa? Where is he? There he is. Did he move? Yeah, he's there. Norm, where'd you go to junior high?
I got to find you here.
You got to find, okay, keep looking.
Yes, I went to Shibawa. We moved to Riverside in 1965, just before 8th grade. And so, yes, both my sister, Carol, and I went to Shibawa and then to Ramona. And my 2 children went to Ramona, too.
Okay. Well, it's a small world after all. Let's not all sing it at once, but okay, I've progressively unmuted a bunch of people, and I'm kind of leaving that way because you're being good. So if anybody else want to talk? Carla, you've been pretty quiet. Do you want to say anything? Go ahead, Carla, talk.
Yeah, hi. This is so cool. Hi, Cheryl. Love you. I've been enjoying this lockdown. I love staying home and doing things. I make things.
Your art.
Yes. Well, and now I'm on a crochet hook kick because it's easy to do. You know, it's easy just to pick up and put down. You saw that lampshade that I just made?
Yes.
Oh, I love that thing.
Very cool.
I know. Let's see. Lampshade.
So let me think. I'm going to also investigate. There's other things that. Oh, nice, Carla. There's other things that we can do that I think we can have different rooms with one meeting, and I'll have to research that. Maybe Daryl knows a little bit more, but I'll research that, where we can get people in and then put them in separate spaces, kind of like sex ed for boys and sex ed for girls. We'll have you in separate places, but that's another possibility to get everybody on one session and then have them break out into smaller groups to be able to carry on chats like this. So we'll look into that as well. Making a lampshade. Keith asked if you make face masks too.
I made my own. I'm not really set up to sew. That's why the crochet thing or painting. Let me see. I have it right here. I made some. It's a no-sew one. It's just out of t-shirt material. And just, you clip it. Let's see. I haven't worn it yet.
It's like a tube top for your face.
There you go. I haven't been to the store lately. I've got to go this week. I got to go in the next couple days. That works.
Actually, I saw that the Surgeon General had a video making one out of a T-shirt, and he used rubber bands over his ears, and that's nice and stretchy. I do it with a bandana, and that pulls my ears forward, so I look like Dopey. But you wear what you got to wear.
You wear what you got to wear. I don't know if you can see this. You just clip it in 6 places and it's 3 pieces. I posted the instructions a couple of times.
Yeah, so you put darts on it.
And you can put a coffee filter in there too. Yeah. My next thing is I want to decorate this to make it look like lips or smile. You saw, make a smile on it. But I haven't been doing this, so Peter with his gas mask on.
Oh my God.
The first time I went to, the last time I went to the store was about 3 weeks ago. And I tried to wear my bandana, but it kept falling down and I felt really weird about not having it.
I get so nervous, I hyperventilate and I get all panicky, so it's pointless because I'm like, horrible.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it that you'd only really need to wear the mask if you're unable to keep the 6-foot distance, right? Or going into a public place like a grocery store.
Hey.
That is
I think that's right. And I think that's good.
Oh, Barb, you're going to say something. Say something, Barb.
Yeah, I was going to say, Riverside County, you have to have a mask on even if you walk outside.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, I had a message from the CERT team, the Community Emergency Response Team. They wanted sewers to make masks. And I wrote back, well, I do production sewing, but I'm not set up to do it. But I think, you know, there's plenty of places, and I named a few places of where they could get mass-produced masks. But I also wrote, I think everybody that when you're out in public, that you should be looked down on if you don't have a mask on.
Right.
And 2 days later, it came out, you have to wear a mask. And I think it's ridiculous that it's in public, if you're in a public place or in public, then you should wear a mask. But if you're just taking a walk, heck no.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
What-
ridiculous
Yeah, what I found was
Anyway.
that I walk on Victoria in the mornings with 2 other friends, and we walk. We look like the Beatles, one behind the other. In fact, this friend of ours that we met on
Abbey Road.
Victoria, yeah, Abbey Road. This friend of ours that we met when we were walking, she was on the other side of Victoria one day, and she took a picture of us and she sent it to me because we've kind of hooked up to walk when my other 2 friends can't walk. And she sent it to us, and oh my gosh, I was just
I'm
dying.
crying just because I love you.
So anyway, we walk, and there's people that pass us all the time that don't have masks on, and here we are all masked up, and they walk by. They don't even try to get out of our way. We're like ditching into the orange groves trying to stay away from these people as they pass by, because I mean, they could be coughing. They could have coughed, 10 feet behind, where we finally meet up with them, and then we walk right into their stuff, and it's really I think it's disrespectful, of others, especially us, being in that high risk category. Most of those people are young people, they're out jogging, and I understand that it's hard to jog and wear a mask. I mean, I have trouble with the mask and walking, and I can't see out of my glasses because they're fog up, and I'm constantly trying to keep my sunglasses on because they're too big for my face, and they're always sliding down, and everything is such a hassle right now. But I just think it's just something that everybody should be doing, but they aren't. And it's
Well, I think that it's really a wonderful way to look at this is that through all this distancing and that sort of thing, what we have to go through, or in this situation, that it also brings up gratitude for what we have and what we have had. So I'm trying to really stay on that heart-mind kind of coherence of staying with what is true, is that it's fearful. We don't know what's going to happen. But also the benefits of, one, sheltering in, that I can have some quiet time more and not be out there. And yet at the same time also knowing that everybody else is having to connect in this challenging way. So just sort of focusing more on gratitude and connection rather than all the inconvenience of it.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to have to leave, so I will see
That
you
means
later.
then the meeting's over. If Rosanna's going to leave, our meeting's going to be over. We've been on about an hour, and I think we have, roughly. Did we
Yeah.
start an hour ago? And it's late back there in Georgia for Carol and for Cheryl, and it's early for a lot of other people, but I think this was a lot of fun, and I recorded this. Oh, and someone's see. Let me take a look here. Exactly. But I recorded this, and I'm probably going to upload it to our Facebook page so people can see the silly stuff that we said and how long and boring this was and so forth, but hopefully they'll get some entertainment value from it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute everybody. Don't all talk at once, but hopefully, let me see here. Hold on, let me get one more time here. Unmute all. Okay, everybody is unmuted at the moment. So if you want to say goodbye, and I brought my dog in to say hi because she was whining at the door.
Oh, let me see her.
This is our Cairn Terrier. She's a Toto dog.
Oh, what a cutie.
And she hates to look at people. So she's avoiding eye contact, as you can tell. She will not look. Let me down, let me down. Okay, anyway, guys, take care, stay in touch. I'll probably send an email out, and next time we do something like this, it'll be through the email list, because it's a security issue to publicize both the meeting ID and the password in one location. So fortunately, we had no one crash. I think it's kind of like back after 9/11, every government office thought they were the next terrorist target. I don't think we're going to be terrorist targets or hackers trying to get into a bunch of old farts talking about their glory days. So, but I still want to keep things safe, and especially, Debbie was concerned about that, and I think we addressed your concerns. Make sure, Debbie, that your bank account has not been drained after this meeting.
I'm going to check.
Anyway, I'm going to stop recording, but if anybody wants to stay on and keep yakking, you can do